How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the HBI Auto YouTube channel. Today we have the keys to this 2022 Land Rover Defender Carpathian Edition 110. So this Land Rover Defender is a very limited spec. So this specific vehicle is finished in stealth PPF, so this paint is protected for any off-road use. But this vehicle does have the 5-liter V8 in it, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But like I said, this is the 110 Land Rover Defender, and this thing is a beautiful off-road vehicle. As you can see, this car does have 22-inch wheels, beautiful blue painted brake calipers to kind of accent the stealth look of this vehicle. And of course, you have your fifth wheel back here that all Land Rover Defenders have. If you go in here and open up the back of this, you'll see that you have a ton of room. Even if you fold the seats down, you have so much room to store whatever you need in there. Not to mention, this vehicle is super tall, so you have a ton of headroom in this vehicle. You can be 6'8" and be fine and not be hitting your head on the roof of this car. You see that you have your Safari windows here on the left and the right, and up there you have your panoramic sunroof. So a couple cool things about the cargo space of this vehicle. If you look here to your right, you have this full-size plug right here where you can plug in if you have a laptop or whatever it may be. You have an extension cord, you can go ahead and do that. Over here, this lifts up the vehicle. If you do this, it lowers it a little bit, so it makes things easier to get in and out of. So this is really convenient when you have a lot of stuff that you're carrying and maybe you don't want it as high. You can lower it or raise it as you wish. So while we're on that topic, this vehicle does come with factory air suspension, and you're able to configure the ride height however you want it to be. As you can see right now, the back is a lot higher than the front since I just hit the switch over here. Let's see how high it gets actually. All right, so as you can see there's a huge difference in height between the front and the rear, just to give you an idea of how much you can change the ride height in this vehicle. All right, so let's go ahead and close this section and let's get to the interior of the car and get on the road so I can show you guys more of this Land Rover Defender. One more thing that I want to point out is this vehicle does have quad tip exhaust from the factory, which is super cool. So the Land Rover Defender also does have keyless entry, so you can just go ahead and hit this to lock it. So you can see the mirrors fold, or you can hit it one more time, unlocks, you can get into the vehicle. So when you hop into this Land Rover Defender, you'll find that you have a ton of cool little features around this car. So let's go ahead and turn the vehicle on, as you can see. And then whenever the vehicle starts, the little sunshade over here for your panoramic sunroof does go all the way to the back, so you get all of that natural lighting in the vehicle. One of the first things you'll notice is this vehicle does have a full Alcantara steering wheel with the leather here on the airbag cover. So you also have this super cool infotainment system. It actually is a curved screen, which is super neat. So you have that, and you have your full digital display, as you can see, where you can actually see the map right in front of you. So it makes it super easy if you're driving a road that you're not familiar with. So on your infotainment system, you can access so much cool things with this car. First of all, we can go to 4x4i, and from here you hit OK. As you can see right now, the diffs are unlocked. So basically what this screen does is it tells you all of the angles of each one of these wheels whenever they articulate. Another cool thing is it shows you the altitude that you're at. And then if you go over to this side, you get weight sensing, and it tells you exactly how much water you can drive in, which is super cool. You also have other stuff such as your TR information, and you can configure that. Let's go back to the home. You can get your vehicle dimensions right there, as you can see. So it tells you exactly how tall the car is. And one cool thing right here is this button right here raises it and lowers the vehicle. So let's go all the way high, and it'll tell you all of the dimensions with all the angles and all that kind of cool stuff. So let's go all the way high on this. I'll show you just how high this thing gets. All right, as you can see, the whole thing actually got taller on the screen, which is super cool. But now, as you can see, you have 38 degrees, 40 degrees. You can also change all of the stuff to meters or feet, whatever you prefer. So if you hit this button right here, it actually lets you access all of the different drive modes. So as you can see, you have dynamic, eco, comfort. And over here you have all your off-road stuff. So you have grass, gravel, snow. We were on here for too long, so we're gonna hit no. We have mud ruts, sand, rock crawl, wade, and like I mentioned, you can go underwater on this vehicle for I think up to 900 millimeters, which is super cool. And then the last one, you can configure it to whoever you want. So probably the coolest thing with this Land Rover Defender, in my opinion, are all of the cameras that you're able to access. So as you can see, you have full 360 camera on this car, and it shows you everything that's around you. And even over here, you can choose whatever corner you want, it'll show you. So right now it's showing that corner. If you go to this top left one, it'll show you that. If you even want to get closer, so you can see it shows you all of the angles of this vehicle. So what this does, it basically helps you a lot when you're off-roading, so you don't need a spotter, so you can see everything that you're getting ready to approach. As you can see here, even the individual wheels, which is super cool. If you go to off-road, as you can see, you have all the different angles. You even have one for towing, as you can see right there. This is super cool. So basically how this works is if you're driving, you can basically see past the hood of the vehicle. So if you want to turn, it shows you all of this. So this is a really, really cool feature if you're off-roading somewhere and you're not familiar with what's in front of you, or you can't see like rocks that may be on the left or the right side of the trails. This makes it so where you can literally see everything without having to, you know, stick your head out or, like I said, have a spotter. So this is definitely probably the coolest feature of this vehicle that I've seen so far. So if you go to on-road, you're still able to access all of that. As you can see, even change all the angles. Super, super cool tech right here, as you can see, and it's really, really good camera quality. Actually, you can see right there, you hit take a turn and there's no delay or there's no lag with this camera. So if you do any sort of turn, it picks it up right away. There's no sort of lag, or you don't have to wait or anything, which is super, super nice. So that's pretty much it for the features. There's some other ones that I haven't mentioned, such as like all your towing and your low traction launch. Another cool thing though is this car does come equipped with Alexa. So if you have an Amazon account, you can use Alexa for your commands. All right, so let's go ahead, hop on the road so I can talk more about the specs of this Land Rover Defender. So in dynamic mode, it basically gives you better throttle response and shifting points, so you can maximize the performance of this 5-liter V8 with that transmission that I believe is an 8-speed transmission in this vehicle. You also have a heated steering wheel with this, as well as heated and cooled seats on the passenger and the driver's seat of this car. Another cool thing is this car does have a small little cooler in there. If you hit this button right there, it turns it on so you can keep any drinks and it'll keep it cool. Or if you turn it off, you can just use it as regular compartment space. Another cool thing with the interior of this car is it does have a wireless charging pad. So let's go ahead, put our phone on that right there. And it charges it right there, as you can see, 63% charged. So another cool thing with this vehicle is it does come with auto brake hold. So whenever you're in traffic, you don't need to hit the brakes. All you need to do is basically just let off and the car stays where it's at, and whenever you hit the gas, the car lets go of that auto brake hold and you're good to go. Not sure if this translates on camera, but you also do have a heads-up display on this car. As you can see, it shows your RPM with the little needle, as well as your speed and the speed limit. So if you actually move this over to the left, it puts you in sport, as you can see, and you have your full digital cluster, which is super, super clean and simple, and I love the way it looks. So one thing that a lot of people don't know about these vehicles is, although it is a purpose-built off-road vehicle, it does have some pretty good performance. So this vehicle does have a supercharged 5-liter V8 engine in it that produces 518 horsepower, and it's paired with an awesome 8-speed transmission. Also, since you're in sport, when you downshift, you get pretty cool crackles and pops and bangs every once in a while. So like I said, this vehicle does have 518 horsepower, and this thing gets going pretty well. For how big of a vehicle this Land Rover Defender 110 is, this thing absolutely moves out. Like I said, 5-liter V8 with a supercharger on it, and this thing sounds absolutely amazing. Wow. You also get those cool little like DSG farts in between shifts when you have this thing in dynamic and sport, and it's a very cool characteristic that this car has. Like I said, you don't expect it to have the performance that it does with it being such a huge off-road vehicle. No Jeep Wrangler or any 4Runner will give you a performance anywhere even close to this. Wow. This thing pulls super hard too, which is super impressive because this vehicle weighs a ton. The transmission tuning on this vehicle from the factory is super nice and responsive. Literally, whenever you downshift, I mean, it's really hard to tell that this thing's even a torque converted transmission and not a dual clutch with how fast it shifts. All right, so now that we have the hood popped, let's go ahead, close the door, and let's pop the hood so I can show you this awesome 5-liter V8 motor. So here it is. The supercharged 5-liter V8 engine. As you can see, this car is completely stock. So you have your intakes right there leading up to the supercharger. And yeah, I mean, like I said, this engine does push out 518 horsepower, which is crazy for a vehicle that is meant to take trails and take it anywhere. You know, anywhere you take it, anything you throw at it, water, mud, sand, this thing will conquer every driving aspect that you throw at it. It is quite a bit taller now with it all the way maxed out in terms of the air suspension height settings. As you can see, that back end is super high. Obviously the front end is also super high, but compared to what this thing was just sitting at whenever I got out, there's a massive difference, and this ground clearance actually gives you more ground clearance than anything else on the market. It gives you more ground clearance than the Land Cruiser, the Jeep Wrangler, the 4Runner, all of that from the factory. Another thing that I do want to mention is you do have your climate control here that you can, you know, mess with. But another really cool thing that I really appreciate, like I said, you have your climate control knob there in the back, but on your load space, you're able to actually change the temperature of that if you have your dog or whatever animal you have in the back. This is a really nice feature that Land Rover put into their vehicle, and I've actually never seen anything like this in any other off-road vehicle or even just an SUV with it having load space. So you do have a ton of compartments with this car. You have compartments down here, you have more compartments over here, you have a USB-C charging port right there. Obviously your glove box, you're able to fit some stuff as well. You have stuff that you can throw behind this infotainment system. You also have a nice little cubby in here. Super impressive performance out of this thing. I am genuinely impressed with how quick this thing is, considering how heavy and tall of a vehicle this is. You just don't expect it, you know, to pull the way it does, but the throttle response is insane on this thing. So I know I keep talking really highly of this 5-liter V8 engine, but this 8-speed automatic transmission that's paired with it is honestly just as good. It's really impressive how fast this thing shifts. As you can see right here, we're in second. It's super quick. All right guys, so this was a little bit of a longer POV video with this vehicle having so many features that I just wanted to talk about. If you guys are interested in purchasing this vehicle, all the links will be down in the description below for you to get all the information on this 2022 Carpathian Edition Land Rover Defender 110. If you guys did enjoy watching this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and if there's any other videos you'd like to see on this channel, make sure to comment down below and we'll be sure to make that happen. With that being said, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.